use existing strengths. This one is from Peter Drucker, and I think it points out something which goes against our habits, because our habits is not to use or to look first for using existing strengths, but to compensate weaknesses. We have to work on our weaknesses, we have to develop our deficits in order to be what exactly? Super talented, or in order just to become sufficient, to become mediocre? And so if you look at it from an organizational point of view, using existing strengths in the organization and letting people do as much of their work in an area where they have talent is much more effective in comparison to letting them develop and compensate their weaknesses and deficits. Now, where is the moment, and I think that's a crucial question of this oblique strategy, where is the point or the activity where you can actually make that kind of difference? Because I think there is a key moment that happens every now and then, but not all the time, which is staffing. So when you attribute a task to a person, that is where you can ask this question. How can I distribute tasks? How can I attribute accountabilities in a way that corresponds to people's strengths and not necessarily to their weaknesses, and then they have to work on it. An extreme example, quite an extreme example where I have observed that was actually in an insurance company, and the head of asset management of this insurance company had this regular task of holding conferences both to the press and to investors, where they needed to inform about their investment strategy, which had, of course, a big effect on their stock price. And that head of asset management was not very talented when it came to giving presentation. He had a thin, weak, high voice, and for other reasons probably he wasn't very talented at that. And so what you could say is also, well, this is a very important task, you have to work on it, you have to make sure that you can deliver. And he delivered in another way. He had a position of an assistant, which was a person usually from university, rather fresh, or from PhDs, and who would do all the analysis and calculations in the background. And he hired an assistant who was very good at holding presentations. And he convinced this critical audience that the presentations were always given by his assistant, and only when it came to an open conversation, questions, then he would stand up and take over. And that was a way of attributing tasks to where the strength is, and not worry so much about compensating the weaknesses.